Hi, I'm Matt Delorme, and today we are going to talk about speed pan shots. The first video we did in the series, we did talk about riding with your buddies, taking shots, and maybe things aren't working out so great. They're not looking as aggressive as they'd like to look or you'd like them to look. But one way to really kind of sort of spice things up, make things look real quick is to do a speed pan shot. So a speed pan shot, essentially, we are freezing the action of the rider, but blurring the land around them as they travel through it. So it gives the visual effect of speed. I've got my camera set to the manual function, so I have complete control over my aperture and my shutter speed. All right, so we're at 1/25 of a second. We're at f6.3. And I'm at ISO 1000. That's a good starting point. Like I said, actually I've worked my way down to 1/25, but you can start off at, 130, 140. Work your way down. Slower the better. So the smaller the number, the slower the shutter speed. All right, so for this shot, I'm gonna stand up on this little knoll thing here. They should theoretically be pretty smooth through this section. There shouldn't be a lot of the bike bouncing up and down. The more this action in a speed pan, the more you're gonna have not quite as sharp of a shot. The idea is to freeze the rider in motion and blur the land around them. Okay, so the other aspect of a speed pan is keeping your camera steady through the plane. You don't want your camera to move up and down. You want the blur lines to be nice and horizontally smooth. You want them to be a straight line. You don't want much movement. You'll see that, maybe in your first couple shots as you try to track the rider, you'll notice that you kind of like move your camera up and down a little. Try to really focus on just keeping that locked and smooth across as you're following through. The first thing you really want to do is just check your line, and then check how you're gonna track the shot through. Try to keep that smooth, get that motion smooth and familiar through your area. Then you're just gonna tell your rider that when he comes through where you want him to kind of focus on being smooth, and where you want them to look most aggressive. So, hey Kaz. So right here, that kind of like comes around this little corner, like in this little trench right here. That's probably where I want you to be smoothest and like kind of aggressively looking towards that next bump. So what I'm looking for after and looking to change after like the first test shot is that the rider's sharp going through the scene, and that the lines of the blur are nice and smooth, and then you make adjustments from there. I typically try to start at about 1/30 of a second and work the shutter speed down so I get more blur from there. That one I like much better. The bike is actually super sharp, and I actually cranked it down a little bit, the exposure down a little bit, and we have more blur in the scene as well. And all the lines look not jumpy. Yeah, a lot of this comes down to trial and error. A lot of this just, it's practice, it's repetition. Practice makes perfect. The rider does not have to be going fast. The whole idea of this exercise is that you can blur the environment around them and come up with a cool shot of them that makes them look a lot faster than they are.
I was going really fast, wasn't I?
Today we kind of touched on speed pans, so we're going to summarize that. Rider sharp, the action in the background is a blur motion. You want straight lines or a smooth curve. Shutter speed should start somewhere around 1/30th or 1/40th of a second and work your way down from there. Try to pick sections of track that keep the rider kind of smooth while you're starting out, because the more the rider kind of has a up and down motion, the less successful you're going to be starting out. Click here to watch more of my how-to videos. Click here to subscribe to the Pinkbike channel on YouTube, and thanks for watching.